Hey boy, y'all know y'all tuned in with Steve. Let's get it.
Hey Steve.
What it is, YouTube? We back out here in sunny San Antonio, as you can see. Out here living the life. Always wanted to see one of them trees, man. You can't get that in Louisville, you feel what I'm saying? Don't mind my hair. I just did the, I got my do-rag on because I just did the braids. I oiled it up, and, you know what I'm saying? Gotta keep the hair nice because I only trust my stylist in Louisville. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust nobody out here to touch my dreads or cut my hair or none of that, you feel me? So, but yeah, man, I just wanted to get on this camera again. Wanted to come to y'all with another video. The last one I said I was gonna start documenting more of my life and more of the crazy events that's taking place that a lot of people don't know about, you feel me? Like y'all just see me on the camera and y'all see me on the keys and uploading the music and stuff. A lot of people don't know the stuff that I really went through in life, man. Some of the crazy events that I never really documented. I kind of kept to myself. And I don't really put my life on display because I don't put all that on the internet and whatever, but I do think these make good story times. I do have a testimony to tell. Like I said, I ain't been through no crazy stuff like a lot of other people like that, but I kind of want to document this video towards a specific event that happened about 4 years ago. Now, some of y'all probably gonna be looking at this title and gonna be like, what in the world? You feel what I'm saying? Y'all probably would have never guessed, but I want to name this video The Time That I Got Shot. And yeah, I know it's crazy. It's a whole lot behind it. You feel what I'm saying? Even now, even thinking about it, I'm still like, now I'm like, bro, that don't even seem, it still don't even like feel real or seem real. You feel what I'm saying? Because you would have never thought. So I don't even really know where to start the basics of this video, pretty much. But I want to go back to 4 years ago, back in 2020. So I wanted to say it was an ordinary day back in Louisville, Kentucky, back in, I believe it was April or March or April of 2020. And forgive me, it's hot out here, but if y'all see me sweating, y'all know why. But basically, you know, it was an ordinary day. And I don't remember if I was working or, no, I was training. I remember I was training because at the time I was trying to get on the fire department that I just applied for. And you had to do extensive training. I was going running with a weighted vest on. I was, working out every day, about 2-3 times a day. Like I said, I'm a little swollen now, but boy, I think that was some of the swollest I've been. I was eating, you know what I'm saying? I was pumping myself up, juicing myself up because that training requires, dedication. And I was just starting to get back on and eating my meals, you know what I'm saying? And I remember I went running downtown at the walking bridge. And, I'm feeling good. It was like any ordinary other day. You feel what I'm saying? And so I got home. Now, keep in mind, this is all around the time with the George Floyd and the Breonna Taylor situations. And at the time, the Breonna Taylor situation that happened first, because that happened in Louisville, Kentucky. That happened first. But we didn't know about it because the city or the police department tried to cover it up. And so nobody really knew, like, what's up, bro? Nobody really knew, like, what was going on. They wanted to keep it quiet. So, of course, in the midst of the George Floyd thing, that came out too. And so when people found out, we was outraged. You feel what I'm saying? Like, who wouldn't be? You know what I'm saying? Like, your city, like, this happened in my city. And so the whole George Floyd thing just added fuel to the fire. You know what I'm saying? And we really started to see, like, Black lives didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We just felt like we was pretty much nothing. So, of course, you got a whole city full of angry people that you seen the true police corruption. Like, Louisville is really known for a lot of police corruption, man. They was getting hit with all type of lawsuits, and corrupt officers is doing stuff to the minors, and, they sexually assaulting people and all type of stuff, you feel me? And so I decided, I think when I got home, I don't remember if I took a nap, but I remember I had seen that. And so I'm over here furious. I'm mad. The whole city mad. We're like, nah, man, this is wrong. We got to do something about this. And of course, everybody heard what happened and what was happening up in Minneapolis. And so we was like, you know what? we need to hold and stage a protest, man, because this is wrong. You feel me? Like you get to a point where you know what right and wrong is and what they did and try to be sneaky about it. Of course, it's got people in their feelings, and it's just like you're not protecting and serving the people, man. You just dictating. You feel me? Y'all executioners. You feel me? And so at that time, we was like, nah, man, we're not gonna stand for this. You know, there was a big rally. We like, nah, we going out. And something told me, it was just like, man, you got to stand for something, because that 2020, man, was a crazy year. We was already getting hit with the COVID. We was already getting hit with the, the economy. And like I said, people was freaking out. And then the whole election thing. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so much going on. And then that just added fuel to the fire. You know, like I said, Kobe died, and that crushed people. And, you know what I'm saying? Then, right? It's like everything was going wrong one after one. You feel me? And so, you know, that was the sparking point. Everybody's like, nah, I'm done. They said, man, I'm done. We gonna do something about this. So we decided to go out, and I don't remember if it was around like 8 or 9 at night, but we decided to go out, and we got together, and I had people hit me up, was like, hey man, go live. I can't make it down there tonight. Go live. So I went live on Instagram, and as I'm filming, like I said, it's a lot of commotion. I mean, it's looking like New York City out there, like everybody and their mama out there, you feel me? And so we all trying to, you know, figure out what direction we gonna go, what we exactly gonna do. And so, you know, it's an uproar. And I feel like in a way it was a righteous uproar, because like I said, you know how they always try to tell you, you know, be quiet. You know, they was trying to make people stay indoors, don't say nothing, it ain't a big deal. And it's like, no, it is a big deal, man. Like this was somebody's life that was taken and covered up. You feel me? And so, rightfully so, we all upset, because we like, bro, this is wrong. So I went live, and I was recording a lot of the commotion that was going on. You feel me? And we get to a point where we get downtown, and I got people hitting me up while I'm going live. They're like, yo, man, I just seen you on the news, man. I just seen you on the news. And I'm like, bro, where you see me on the news at? I was like, I don't even, like, it's like 100,000 protesters out there, and somehow people can still spot me wherever I go at. That's why I said you ain't safe wherever you go. People know you. They know who you related to. They know who your folk is. And so I'm like, bro, like, I can't even, like kind of escape for a little bit and do my own thing. Like, I'm trying to be out here for a cause, you feel me? And people hit me up talking about, hey, man, I see you down there, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, you feeling a little popular? And so people taking screenshots and showing me I'm on the news and whatever. And I'm just like, man, this is funny. You know what I mean? But we out there, and we get downtown. And shout out to my boy Watt, man, Juan Don. He was with me that day. And, you know, I met up with him down there. And, you know, like I said, we still going live. And, you know, at that point, police presence is heavy. Like, you got it looked like the National Guard out there, man. Like, you got the armed security, you got the people with the shields, you got people throwing stuff, you got people, they about to launch the tear gas, you got the people on the roof looking at you like, bro, it looked like something out of a movie. Like, when I tell you this was something out of a movie scene, this was like some futuristic type stuff, man. You feel me? Like stuff that you wouldn't be accustomed to seeing on an everyday basis. Like, Louisville was like Mad Max. It was like a war zone, you feel me? And so at that point, we down there, and I'm trying to think of everything that happened in particular, like in order, because there was so much that happened that night, bro. This is a crazy night. So we down there, and you know, people got their megaphones, they hollering, they going off, you know what I'm saying? And you could see everybody was united. Christian, Muslim, you know, atheist, black, white, Indian, anybody was down there, bro. That's why I said, like, you gotta understand, like, you know, we all believe in Christianity, bro. We heavy Christians. But even people that don't believe in the same thing as us, they can understand there's a righteous cause. They can understand when something is wrong. It's like, bro, we still human beings. We still unified, whether we agree with each other's point of view or not. You feel me? And so, like I said, there's a lot of people down there that I didn't agree with. A lot of people didn't get along. There's probably people that didn't even like each other. But we all understood, like, this is a major issue that we got to address. And so we stood together, man. It felt good for once being in unity. But it was the craziest thing. It was like the craziest turn of events. You know how you can feel like something is off? And I kept feeling like, bro, something don't feel right. Like, something don't, like, maybe it was just too many people. Maybe it was God trying to forewarn me, you know, you foresee it or whatever. But it was just like, bro, something feel like it's about to happen. Like, you can feel it in your gut. Like, you can feel like, bro, this don't feel right. Like, this is off 100%. You feel me? And so, like I said, I was with my boy Juan Don, and we was gonna leave. But this silly boy, he parked downtown in the center, like around the people. Imagine this is like New York City out here. So imagine you can't move, you can't get out of there. So I'm like, dog, we stuck. So we got out the car a little bit, and I stayed for about an extra 5 minutes. He decided to take off and go somewhere else. So I kind of blame him for why some of this happened too, bro. Because if he would have just left, this would have never happened for real. But long story short, we get there. And you know, they always say never go in the center, never go right in the middle of the conflict where you pretty much vulnerable at, you feel me? So we go there, and I'm just right there filming. People's going mad. And this is right by the police now. Keep in mind, this is right by the police. Like say this tree is police right here, and then I'm standing about right here, just filming everything going on. You feel me? And so people going crazy. They rampant. They throwing stuff. You know, they rocking back and forth. This is big old police ambulance looking vehicle, and they rocking it back and forth, and people's pushing it. And so I'm just over here, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of like I was doing it for social media clout too, because it's kind of like, you know, oh man, this is a once in a lifetime thing. You feel me? So it's pretty much like a small riot out there, a small army. So in the midst of that, they did say they was gonna start probably shooting people with rubber bullets and tear gas and stuff to calm people down. You know what I'm saying? Because we easily outnumbered all them police out there. It was way more of us. So as we out there, you know, I ain't really thinking nothing of it. So the craziest part, I get a text from my friend, a former friend of mine, and this is all on Instagram Live now, keep in mind. She's hitting me up on there. Everybody's like, bro, be careful, man, be careful. I'm like, man, I'm good. Like, man, I'm protected wherever I go, man. You know, obviously you get that old cliche mindset, like, man, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm good, I'm protected everywhere I go, which is true. But you also got to think smart too, and a lot of my maturity mindset at the time wasn't using wisdom. You know, we always talk about terms about like no lacking and, you know, don't get caught slipping. And that day, I got caught slipping. You never think it could happen to you until it happened to you. So she hit me up on there. She's like, hey man, you know, be careful down there. It's dangerous, and you know, they gonna do something out there, and you know, it's just watch your back. So my silly self is over here replying back to the message while I'm on live. So I'm hollering at her through the camera. Keep in mind, I'm in the middle. I'm in the hot zone. Like, you in the zone, which is somewhere you don't ever want to be. She's like, be careful, be careful. And I'm like, oh girl, don't worry about me. I said, and I remember I hollered out. I said, don't worry, girl, I'll be there for your birthday. Because her birthday was coming up, I think, in a couple of days. I was like, don't worry, girl, I'll be there for your birthday. The next thing I remember, the next thing I know, all you hear is bop, 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 bop. So immediately, I was told that it was the police that was gonna start shooting people with these bullets. They was gonna start coming out and backing the crowd up. So I'm thinking, okay, somebody done went rampant and they had to calm the crowd down. So of course, everybody and their mama scattering like roaches. So I'm like, woo! That's the first I said, woo! I'm sitting there zigging and zagging, and it's kind of like everything happened so fast, but it happened in slow motion at the same time. So it's the weirdest thing. I don't know how that works, but I was basically like, remember the little police vehicle I was telling you about? So I was like, should I get under this? Should I crouch down? Should I run around? It was almost like I had 20 seconds to think, even though this happened within probably like 5 or 6 seconds. The weirdest thing in the world. I don't know how that works. It's how it was. I clearly remember I was like, well, I don't know how all this time to think. I clearly remember I was like, well, I'm gonna bend down, because I remember I was bending down like that. And I was like, maybe I crouched down and I was gonna climb. I was like, should I get in the vehicle or should I climb under? So I was like, nah. I'm gonna climb under the vehicle, because I'm just like, just in case bullets start flying, you know what I'm saying? This is the best option to be safe. When I tell you, the next thing I felt was like this radius. Like, it felt like if you ever been hit with a baseball or a beanbag. That's what it felt like. And right here on my right backside, I felt it. And I just remember the next thing I remember was just, like I just fell. You know what I'm saying? I'm completely on the ground. And it's like, I wasn't there by choice. It's just like, that's what it's designed to do, is to make you just flat. You know what I'm saying? And so I straight up flatline, and I'm sitting here like, it was a mix of like shock and confusion. Cause I'm like, keep in mind, I'm still thinking this is the police. I'm still thinking this is the police shooting at us. So I'm like, why they hit me with a beanbag? I'm out here with a camera, man. I ain't did nothing. I'm trying to document everything. They should have hit them over. They the ones acting crazy. And so I remember just getting up and taking off running. Like I'm running down the street, and we by the courthouse. So I take the corner over there, and I'm just running. And I'm laughing, and I'm running, and I'm laughing, and I'm just like, bro, why they hit me, man? Why they hit me? And so, you know, I ran for a minute. And all jokes aside, like I said, I was over joking because I guess it was funny at the moment. And then I turned around, and right over here, that's when I seen it. It was like a stream full of like blood and stuff. And I was like, bro, they must have hit me hard, because I remember I had my wallet in my back pocket too. So I was like, bro, they must have hit my wallet. They must have hit my keys or something that poked me or whatever. And I was like, I don't think rubber bullets are supposed to like enter your skin. Like, they ain't supposed to penetrate you. They supposed to like bounce off of you, if anything. You feel me? So I'm like, well, you know, maybe I just got unlucky and it went through. So I'm like, you know, it's whatever. So I guess my adrenaline is pumping. Like I said, I'm out here sweating. My adrenaline is going. I'm pumped up. You feel me? And I remember walking around the corner, and my leg is. Keep in mind, my leg getting stiff. So it's like I start walking like a penguin. You feel me? Like I start wobbling like a penguin, and this blood is coming out. And the whole pocket is soaked. And so I remember walking past some people, and they was like, yeah, man. They said, hey, man, you know, be careful, man. I said, y'all, they just shot me. I'm like, oh my God. I said, oh my God, go to the hospital. I'm like, nah, man, it's cool. Like, you know, because you watch movies and you be like, well, people just pull it out. I'm like, when I hear hospital, I'm thinking about money. So I'm like, nah, man, because if the ambulance shows up, that's about $1,200, $1,500 right there. Even if you got the money, which I did, I'm like, I'm not paying that for no ambulance. I go home and take it out and sear it up with with a hot iron, like you see them do off movies. Because that's what I'm thinking. That's what it is. I'm like, well, it ain't nothing you can't fix. So as I'm walking, I don't even remember where I was walking. Like, I was parked way down there. I was walking way downtown by the river. And my boy Chris calls me, and he's on the phone with me like, hey, man, I just seen you, man. I just seen what happened, bro. Are you good? You good? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm straight. And then my friend that I was on Instagram with, that I was hollering back at, her and her mama FaceTime me, and they call me. They say, oh my God. They say, are you okay? Oh my God, we thought you got killed. You know, we ain't seen nothing happen there. I'm like, nah, man, I'm straight. I'm like, girl, I'm good. Don't worry about me, whatever. And then I showed her what happened. I'm like, oh my God, go to the hospital. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm straight. I'm like, because you know me, man, you ain't dying, you straight. And so I'm like, nah, man, I'm straight. I don't need no hospital, no medical attention. And so, like I said, I was walking back to my car. And as I'm walking, it starts to get even stiffer. And so I'm like, should I go to the hospital? Because I know how bullets travel. I said it can end up in your backside, it end up on your spine. You feel me? Now keep in mind, this is a couple of inches away from my spine. You feel me? So I'm just like, what if it's hit my spine? It hit an artery. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose my leg. I don't want to be paralyzed. You know, I'm thinking of the worst case scenario here. So I'm just like, man, I might bleed out. You know, I'm just like, bro, come on, man. Like, what is going on? I'm just like, man, I ain't trying to spend. And the whole time I'm thinking, I ain't trying to spend this money. I don't know what was the main thing on my mind. I'm like, I ain't trying to spend this money. And so I come to a corner, and I just remember I was just praying. And I closed my eyes, and I just start praying and put all the funny business to the side. And I'm like, Lord, whatever this is, I was like, I pray for protection. I pray this don't hit no arteries, don't hit my spine. I'm not paralyzed. I pray that this ain't nothing serious. You know what I'm saying? And right when I'm done with that prayer, I come to the corner of one of the streets. And there's a whole bunch of police standing over there with AR-15, assault rifle, you know, all that type of stuff. And so I was like, let me go holler at them, man, and see if it's something serious, because I don't know. Like, I don't want to, you know, go home and this is more serious than it turned out, and then you mess yourself up, you feel me? So I was like, hey. So I asked one of the officers, a white dude, and I said, hey, man, was that y'all around the corner that was over there shooting? He was like, nah, man, we ain't shoot nothing. And I was like, well, they said the police was about to start shooting these protesters down here because they getting a little radical. And he was like, nah, man, that wasn't us. He was like, bro, you might have got hit with a real bullet. He said, because 3 other people just reported they got shot. And I said, real bullet from who? I said, bro, if it wasn't y'all, then who was it? And so he was like, let me take a look at it, man. And so he took a look at it, and I turned around and showed him. He said, dude, like he was like, dude, that's a real bullet. I was like, real bullet? I said, real bullet from who? From where? And so and I remember I just started laughing. I was like, bro, what? I was like, bro, who shot me? I said, if it wasn't y'all, then who did it? And he was like, bro, and they was treating this like this was like, I got shot in the heart. I'm like, bro, it's just like my backside. Like it may have been serious, but to me, I'm just like, well, it ain't on no major arteries. I'm good. And so, so they was like, bro, like, they was like, are you good? I'm like, yeah. And so at the time, I had my concealed carry on me, and my wallet and my keys. I had a little baton and whatever. And I told him, I said, hey, now before y'all go reaching, just know I'm a concealed carrier, because I'm like, we dealing with this situation where y'all shooting folk, y'all shooting us. So I'm like, hey man, I got this concealed carry in my back. I'm like, I got a police baton on me. I said, hey, I got a couple of things on me that y'all might consider weapons. You know what I'm saying? Just for my own protection. I'm licensed to carry. So that's like, okay, cool. So he grabbed, he said, hey, y'all gun. I use a gun right here. Just put it down. And when I tell you, man, this dude was the best police officer I ever came in contact with. Now keep in mind, we all out there because we don't like police. You know what I'm saying? They was out there doing what they was doing. But this man, when I tell you, more cops should have been like, dude, the way he handled that situation, the way he was interactive with people, he wasn't scared for his life. He wasn't reaching for his firearm. He wasn't treating you like he was a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like he was treating you like you was a real, genuine human being. Like, I'm trying to save your life. Not like, oh, it's the little nigga on the ground. Like, no, I'm trying to really save your life. And so he proceeded with that. And I remember they laid me down on the ground. And I'm just scrolling on my phone. I'm like, bro, I'm good. He's like, you good? I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good. And so right across the street, that's some black folk, and here we go. Right across the street, that's some black folk, and they walking, and they said, dang, little bro, they was like, you good, man, you good? I'm like, yeah. And I remember there was this one black lady. She, I don't know why she was crawling, but she decided to come across the street. She crawled up to me and she was like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm straight. What else? She said, what happened? I'm like, I got shot. I'm good. And she was just kind of talking and comforting, and the police officer, the good one, he was like, hey, can you tell them over there like that we didn't do this? He was like, hey, let them know we didn't shoot him. They was like, he came over here like this and we trying to figure out what's going on. And so the people across the street was hollering like, what happened, man? What happened? And I was like, man, I got shot. And the police officer, dude hollered, he was like, he's been shot. And I was like, yeah, because you don't want to shot him. And so he was like, we didn't do this. And so next thing I know, I look up, water bottles is flying across the street. Keep in mind, these Negroes is hitting me. I'm like, bro, I'm sitting here. I'm the victim. Y'all throwing stuff at me. And they was like, hey. I was like, hey, bro, what y'all doing? Like, y'all, like, that just goes to show you, Negroes don't know how to aim, man. When they shoot, when they throw stuff, they throwing it at you. I'm the victim. You feel me? And I'm like, hey, man. And so I guess they kind of got them across the street, got them away and whatever. And the next thing I remember, bro, this big old, them SWAT tanks, them big old SWAT cars they ride up with the tanks, whatever, they rode up. And when I tell you, it was huge. Man, this dude, he wasn't like big, but he was like tall. And this big old white dude, man, he got out with the SWAT glasses and everything, with the green suit. And he walked up militant. I mean, bro, when he walked up to me, I thought I was getting arrested. Like, bro, this dude was scary. And I was like, bro, dude walked up to me. He was like, you been shot? I was like, yes. I was like, yes, I think dude is gonna get me. I'm like, bro, like, take it easy, man. And so I remember it was like 4 or 5 of these cops, man. They was like, call an ambulance. I said, no. I said, hey, no. I said, hey, man, we ain't calling no ambulance. I said, you better not call an ambulance. That's too much money. Dude was like, oh, don't worry about the money. I said, bro, all I'm worried about is the money. It costs money. It ain't cheap. I like, bro, that's expensive. I'm thinking about the $1,500 or the $1,500 coming out that's coming out my pocket. You feel me? And so he was like, don't worry, man, we'll give you a ride in our car and whatever. So about 4 or 5 of them picked me up. And I'm like, yeah, act like I'm paralyzed, bro. I can get up and walk. But they was doing the most. So they tried to pick me up and put me in the car. And they got me all outside. I said, bro, I can stand. You feel me? So he puts me in the back of the car. He gets in with me. And it was kind of fun because we went on it was like a police squad run chase. So we was running red lights. We was going like about 100 miles an hour. Like, bro, that was fun. That was fun. And so he sat in the back with me, man. And I talked to this dude. And I don't remember his name. But I talked to him about what was going on. I said, yeah, man. I said, I'm out here tonight because of what happened. As you know, we heard what happened. And he was like, yeah, I understand that. And I told him, I said, bro, look, I said, listen, I'm not saying all police are bad. I'm not saying all y'all bad, because I said, bro, you are really a good one the way that you handling the situation. I said, I wasn't scared to be around you. Like, the way you treat me as a human being, man, you doing your job. And I told him, I said, I was thinking about applying to the police department a while back, because I was about to apply to the sheriff's office too. He said, hey man, he said, it's never late to join, man. He said, we need people like you, man. He said, we need folk on the force. And I said, well, hold on now, bro. I said, let's try to get past this situation that we dealing with in this city and across the nation. I said, because that's kind of why I didn't continue doing that, because of what was going on. They kept shooting us and they kept doing what they doing. And I was like, all right, bro, just let's get to that later. So they pulled me up to the hospital, and I get there, and I remember, I think, yeah, they wheelchaired me in. And he's just talking to me, man, while they wheeling me in. And I'm over having a conversation with this dude, man. Like, he's so cool. And I remember they put me on the table. And the doctors had pretty much like was taking blood. And they stick me with these needles. Quite truth be told, man, they was doing more damage to me than I was already doing. Like, they was putting me in more pain than I already was. And I was like, bro, like, they shot me with needles like 13 times, bro. I had people calling me. I couldn't answer them. They was like, nah, you gotta wait. They was like, we don't know if you're gonna do surgery. Came back literally 2 minutes later, you get surgery. We gotta put you to sleep. I'm like, nah, man, I don't do that. So I remember the detective came and asked me. He was like, did you see anything? Nobody saw nothing. I didn't see nothing. So, and this is the scariest part this is the part I didn't like the most, was when they about to put me to sleep. And I said, all right, well, I didn't want to tell mama. Because you already know. I was like, bro, I ain't tell nobody. I was like, I'm not telling mama, because it's already like 11 at night. And when they put me to sleep, I ain't going to wake up to the a.m., so she ain't going to know what's going on. I don't want her freaking out. And then what happened with Pastor, man, what happened with my daddy, seeing her go through that, I was like, man, I don't want to put her through that same trauma, that same scenario that she went through. And was like, hey, man, you know, I lost my husband. Now I'm fearing about losing my son. So I was like, definitely don't tell mama. Like, I don't want mama to know nothing. So the only person I called my brother, and I was like, hey, man, you know, and he was casual about it. He was like, hey, when you one of the people that got shot? I was like, yeah. And so he was like, okay. He was like, hey, well, I said, hey, bro, like, don't tell nobody. Don't tell mama. Don't tell nobody. I said, you're the only person I want to know, and that's it. So they take me into the room where they about to put me to sleep. And I'm so nice, because, you know, like I said, when you have the love of God and you raised right, you're nice to people. That's just being a human being. And I'm nice to the doctors in there and all that. And they're like, bro, you like the nicest person we had. And they're like, everybody else in here done cussed us out. And what I'm like, why would they cuss y'all out? Y'all saving their life. Like, y'all showing up to work during the pandemic and this epidemic, and y'all don't really get no breaks on no days off. And so I said, the least I can do, man, is repay the favor. Because I love, those are the true heroes of society, man. Our nurses and the doctors and stuff. So anyways, they about to hit me with this, I don't know if it was morphine or whatever it is. But when I tell you, man, it's exactly like it is in the movies. Like, when you see them hit them with that, and then everything gets hazy and you hear that ring, and it's like, that's literally what it's like. And I was like, bro, my life felt like a movie that night. Within an hour and a half, I was like, bro, this is crazy. So I'm like, they hit you with that, and my vision just got blurry. And it's just, and when I tell you, I was so scared, like, bro, I was praying, because I'm just like, man, I said, Lord, I don't know how this is going to go. I said, I don't know if I'm going to wake up. I don't know if I'm going to see you. I'm like, man, I'm already thinking the worst, because I'm like, I ain't never had this happen before. I ain't been in the hospital since birth. So, of course, you already thinking the worst. You're like, man, this is going to happen. They going to do this. So I remember I was just praying. And whatever I was dealing with at the time, I said, Lord, if I ain't right with you, I'm getting right now. I said, I repent for all my sins. I said, I humbly come to you as a sinner. I was like, Lord, if I don't wake up, let me see you. Or I said, I'm praying to wake up. And so I remember asking one of the doctors, I said, because it feels like you're floating, like you just floating in space out thin air. And I told him, I said, hey man, can one of y'all like grab my hand? Because I said, I feel like I'm like floating away. And I was like, yeah, we got you. So two of them came and they grabbed my arm and stuff. And then they put the mask on me, and they was gonna hit me with that, I believe it was the anesthesia or whatever. And they was like, go ahead and count back from 20. And I remember getting to about 18. 17. I don't remember nothing else. All I remember was it just went dark. I don't remember it going dark. Like, I just remember the next thing I remember was waking up in like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And I woke up and I was sore. And I was like, bro, like, I'm hurt. You feel me? Like I'm sore all over, you feel me? Like, it's, I don't know if I should do a part 2 to this story, because there's so much, like I said, man, there's so much to this. There's so much to this story. But, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to just do a part 2. Y'all catch it next time, man.